comes in handy.
We have about 6 more minutes. Next question.
It was a real simple question. All three of you indicate that often these things are driven by the city government for something somebody wants, a wish list. Is there any way that we, and I know we've worked here in Austin, we look at the estimates and they're often driven by a selective, you mentioned one company, who has expertise in that area, and so all his alternates are either more expensive, even though in reality, when you get down, I worked for an estimating company for 3 years, and some of these things are crazy. How do we get this unbiased
Speak more into
estimate?
the mic. Speak more into the mic.
How do we get the unbiased estimate that will truly include the apples and apples and apples, and not the apples and oranges and lemons?
Let me start off by answering that, because one of the standards that I mentioned in my presentation, that in the professional evaluation criteria, you're supposed to have peer review. I didn't actually mention that specifically. That was never done. And what the consultants did, and I actually campaigned for one of the people who ultimately was elected to the county board, one of the anti-streetcar people, and people were amazed when I told them about the AECOM study. And I said, did you know that they did this and that? They withheld this information? And they said, no, we didn't know that. We thought they were doing an honest presentation. And they don't. They work for, in fact, the former president of AECOM told me, he said, don't spread this around. He said, but we work for the people that hire us. And that's the basic problem. So what is the public to do with a complex project? Are they supposed to evaluate trends and analysis zones that are used to generate traffic projection? They can't. So that the only thing you could really do is have a peer review, which was not done. And I doubt it's done in any of these projects.
I'm sorry. In my experience, peer reviews are rare and they are ineffective. The big AE firms, planning consulting firms, they team up back and forth like crazy. And the simple truth is, and this is speaking as a guy who ran one of the largest consulting and accounting practices of its type in the transit industry for many years, there's a hell of a lot more money to be in favor of a really dumb billion-dollar project than to be against a really dumb billion-dollar project. So if you ask for a peer review, and you need to get somebody who is independent, doesn't work for a big company, retired, college professor, whatever, and even then, good luck. Here's what you can do. Somebody proposes a project, and they say, it'll cost this much money to build, it'll cost this much money to operate, it'll carry this many people, and will be able to be completed in this period of time. You go out and you do a peer review, you look for peer projects. You find out what it costs somebody else to build that, what their original projected ridership was, what the actual was, how long it took, what the overrun was. Again, call me, call Randall, call others. We've got this history. We can help you out. This is very effective when you go on the first day and says, how can you say you're going to come in and this project is going to cost less and carry more people than this very comparable project in this city or this other one in that city?